On this episode of Travelogue, we head to the secluded paradise of BAMEI. We discover why its people have isolated themselves from the rest of the world, get a taste of the local drum culture, and learn to fish the traditional way. Get caught up in the excitement of a weekly market outside the village, and make our grand exit through a fantastic cave. Only on Travelogue.
God, it's the most incredible entrance I've ever seen. A place hidden in the mountains, a place not even in English guidebooks, a place that you can only reach via a tunnel in a cave, and a place that's considered the Chinese utopia. This is BAMEI. I'm Turan, and welcome to Travelogue.
True to form, the isolated village of BAMEI is very difficult to get to. Arriving in Kunming in southwest China, we had to drive 500 kilometers to reach Guangnan County, near Vietnam. Heavy fog along the way meant it took us 2 days to get there, and even then, there was another 40 kilometers to go before we finally arrived in BAMEI.
Alright, so there are a couple of ways you can get to BAMEI village. All of them involve taking you to Fali Chun, which is the closest village there, and you can either take the public transport, the buses that come every hour or so, but it completely depends on traffic. You can hire your own minivan, or you can take the public minivans as well. Alright, I'm going to try my luck with this one. I'll see you guys in Fali village.
BAMEI enjoys a subtropical climate, but it can still get quite cold in the mountains.
Alright, this is Fali village, and you have to make up the rest of the way there either by foot or by horse, but if you look over there, that is BAMEI village.
Finally, the last leg of our journey. Sitting here on this horse-drawn cart, I can imagine that the people who originally discovered BAMEI might well have come by the same means of transport.
This is bloody incredible. You know, it's probably the best time to swear right now, but I won't because we're on TV. But Jesus Christ, look at this place. You have to go to this huge cavern, this limestone cave when you enter BAMEI. That it takes about 20 minutes from the entrance to the exit at the other end. And every day the villagers go through this one path. There's no other path. You can't take any road, there's no highway. You can't drive in, you can't walk in. You have to take this boat. Can you imagine that? Well, it's getting pretty dark in here now, so luckily I've brought my flashlight along with me. I'm not sure if it's any good. Probably not any good. Out in front, we've actually got a gap in the middle of this cavern. I can see the light shining through, and it kind of feels like I don't know how to describe it, but it kind of feels like you're seeing some kind of utopia that you're going to reach quite soon. And in Chinese, there's actually a description for BAMEI, which kind of translates to a utopia, and that's exactly the same kind of feeling I'm getting right now.
Around 1600 years ago, a poet famously wrote about the Cao Hua Yuan, or peach blossom garden. He described an isolated and peaceful village where people lived simple pastoral lives. Their ancestors had arrived there hundreds of years before to escape the dangers of warfare, and now the residents were living unaware of the outside world. The only way into the village was through a narrow cave.
As you can see, over there, that slit of light, that should be our entrance to Utopia. This is the entrance to Bamei village, our Utopia that lies at the end of this cabin. And sorry, I just can't wait to go. Oh my god, that's Bamei village. I can't believe it.这是干什么的？
跟溜溜迎宾酒。
迎宾酒。
跟溜溜。
我必须得喝吗？
是啊，跟溜溜就要喝完嘛。
好，谢谢啊。
跟溜溜2杯好事成双。
2杯。
对。
好，哎，跟溜溜。
跟溜溜。
This is the traditional drunk culture, and they're going to stop you when you cross this bridge, and you must drink 2 cups of this wine that they've made themselves. So, bottoms up. Tastes great. Smoky, just like whiskey. 你们跟我一块儿去吗？也送我去吧。好。
The villagers belong to the Zhuang ethnic minority, people with a strong farming tradition. They choose to lead simple, self-sufficient lives, and thanks to their isolation from the outside world, their traditions have been largely protected and preserved. The bridge's roof not only provides protection from the elements, it also helps to keep their traditional beliefs and customs alive.
Okay, so this is the traditional Drong style bridge my lovely guide there was telling me about. And if you look out here, there's this river that splits into 2 different branches. The right side, I'm told, is for women, and the left side is for guys. And it's a bit chilly now, but in summer, when the villagers finish working out in the fields, they'll come out into this river and bathe together, fully in the nude. And it's something that you'll only really find in the most indigenous villages, the kinds that haven't been touched by the outside world. Okay, so my guide tells me that there are quite a lot of guest houses here in Bamei, and this one used to be a villager's home, which has now been renovated into a guest house. Oh, nice, nice. It's pretty simple, but it's quite nice in here, and everything looks very clean. And they've actually got a television there, and it might not sound so surprising to you, but Bamei only very recently got electricity, and from the looks of it, I might even have an ensuite bathroom as well. Okay, nice. I've actually got a shower in here with cold and hot water, and hopefully this actually... it does work. Okay, I can take a shower tonight. Hopefully with that kind of drip. But anyway, I think it's time for me to have a bit of a break. Where's my water? I'll see you guys in a bit.
BAMEI owes everything to its river. It's what led to the place being discovered, and it's the means by which people enter and leave. It feeds the crop, livestock and people. Everywhere you look in BAMEI, you'll find equipment for extracting its water.
If you look at these water wheels, regardless of whether they're huge or small, they're everywhere here in BAMEI, and they're used to irrigate the fields. And if you look at the design, this design hasn't changed for hundreds of years, ever since the beginning of BAMEI.
However, the river can't provide BAMEI with everything. Here, all the women are expert weavers, and there's a loom to be found in almost every house. Weaving is a skill that Drong people have traditionally excelled at, and it's helped BAMEI get by without having to rely on trade from the outside. Nowadays, with the increasing contact with the outside world, the villagers make their own clothes less out of necessity and more as a way of keeping their traditional skill alive.
Not bad. 大姐，这多少钱呢
？4块。
4块钱。
不是4块。
10块钱。
4块。
Okay, so a bit of a misunderstanding there. In Chinese, 4 and 10 are pretty much the same. So make sure you know which one they're saying before you buy anything. Even so, I think 10 RMB for something like this is pretty worth.
Tradition is everywhere to be found. Most of the women here were brought up playing this game, and it remains their favourite pastime.
这是用什么叶子？
随便什么叶子都行。
随便什么叶子。So this was the ball I was trying to kick earlier, and the nicest thing about it is, if it breaks, you can just grab any of these kind of leaves growing by the river and make a new one. So that's self-sufficient entertainment for you.
For us city slickers, sunset tends to mean the start of a long night ahead. But for the people of BAMEI, it signals the end of a long day.
Right, so this huge banyan tree is kind of considered the guardian tree here in BAMEI. And I've actually run into the village elders gathered there smoking on their huge pipes. And I've heard that every once in a while the elders will come here and discuss important events here in BAMEI, kind of like a Roman Senate. So I'm pretty lucky to have run into them today. Yeah.
Just like in their ancestors' time, all the major decisions in BAMEI are still made by a council of elders. From this spot under their sacred tree, they preside over the future of their secret world. But on days when the rain just won't let up, you can sit back with a cup of tea, listen to the sounds of the rain outside, and drink in BAMEI's secluded beauty.
You know, when you're in a place as laid back and as simple as this, there's not much you can do in the evening, but I think probably the best thing you can do is to sit in front of a fire like this and just kind of let your mind wander as you take in the surroundings. So every Monday there's a market outside BAMEI village in Fali village, and it's incredibly important to the people here because they'll get all of their additional supplies from the outside world over there, and seeing as it's Monday, I'm going to see if I can join them as well. Ooh. It's a pretty busy day, as you can see, and there are hordes of people coming out. and I've actually had to commandeer one of their boats because there's not enough space, and I'm sitting kind of close to the edge, so hopefully this boat doesn't rock too much and make me fall in. And we're off, and this is pretty nice. I'm coming out for the first time with the locals, and we'll see what I can find at the daily market, at the weekly market in Fali village.
These weekly markets are vital for sustaining BAMEI's economy, but they're much more than just a source of supplies. Traditionally, these markets have been the place to go, to hear news about what's happening in the outside world. For generations, Monday has been the day on which this isolated village exposed itself to the modern world. And for me, it's an incredible feeling to be a part of that legacy.
So that was quite a ride. It's quite drafty now, but everyone's excited to finally get to the market, so let's see if we can get something good to eat.
Many of BAMEI's residents are keen to embrace the modern world, but this is made difficult because of its inconvenient location and because its selling point as a tourist destination is that it's an unspoilt utopia. But things are changing. The younger generations have to leave the village to go to school, and many then go on to jobs in the bigger cities.
There's only a certain amount of vegetables that you can grow in BAMEI, so coming here is actually quite useful to the villagers as they can get a lot more variety in their foods.
Apart from getting some essential shopping done, many villagers come to the market because it's simply a lot of fun. Here, they can experience relatively exotic things, and this can only fuel their desire for more contact with the outside.
The people here love to eat spicy food, so if that's not your thing, you're probably going to have a bit of a tough time here. Alright, so this is all tobacco that the locals have thinly sliced, and I think they take this and they stick it in these huge pipes that are filled with water, kind of like with shisha, this kind of incense stick, to push it in and burn it and suck on the other side. Here it goes. Remember, when you smoke this, you must place your chin firmly on the opening and suck, and not let any air inside. Otherwise, you won't get that feeling. Heaven. Heaven. This is mine. From now on, you'll see me on every one of my journeys carrying my lovely pipe. Alright, I'm going home with my days. This is proving pretty fun. I think I'm one of the villagers now.
With the day's shopping done, I head back to the guest house for a completely organic lunch. Given the sustainable lifestyle here, it was no surprise to discover that everything that went into our meal was personally raised or grown by our host.
壮族里头怎么说吃饭？根号。根号吧，根号，来，是，我是要我这个腊肉，哎呀。
This is how meals are eaten in BAMEI. There's no need for anything fancy, just a fire, a wok, and something to put your food on. Staying in the guest house, eating and drinking just like the villagers is a great way to experience BAMEI life.
Alright, so with net in one hand and basket in the other, you can probably guess what I'm going to go do next. It's fishing. and one of the main sources of food here in the village. So if you come here, it'll be nice if you can actually help out the villagers in their catch of the day.
好，再来，再来，
再来，
收了，收直接就收到网那边，
收到网上
这边，收在这里，
哎，
往那边，然后就差不多一半就可以了。
这样分的，不容易啊这个，这样的，
剩下的倒起来啊，对，
好，
然后就把它剩下另一半放在这边，
对啊，放这知道，对，
行了，
对，
现在就从这边撒过去，就把它撒。
Oh man, it's cold. This is the price I pay for this. Christ. I hope I don't catch pneumonia and die. 这样子让是吧？哎 I think all I caught was rocks. 现在能抓吗？拉回来啊。Fish over there, net over here. Oh! I saw something shiny. Yeah. I caught a fish. Let me run towards you. I caught a fish. Oh! Christ! I caught a fish, and that's my dinner for tonight. This one, tiny but lovely little fish.
I've learnt an incredible amount of things in BAMEI, but there's one thing that has eluded me during my stay here.
I'm about to leave BAMEI village, but there's one more essential skill I must learn, and that is to row this longboat. Every single villager, every single family has one of these boats, and to become a proper villager of BAMEI, I must learn as well. Oh my god! Oh man! Oh, it's a piece of cake. Just don't turn around. So, I've had an excellent teacher. All he did was push me into the river, and I have now learnt to row. And with any luck, I'll not have a collision with these boats, which might be a bit of a tight fit. Oh, okay. I failed my test, but at least I can row. There we go.
For me, BAMEI is charmingly honest and genuine. The people here provide for themselves and are content with what they have. And for now, their idyllic world remains untouched, innocently tucked away inside their ring of misty mountains.
Alright, so this is it. I'm going to leave BAMEI, and we came in by boat, and now we're going to leave by boat as well. And this is my buddy, 老外, which translates to always bent. And he might not think it, but every time I see him, he always reminds me of a certain someone, and he's our regular Chinese Snoop Dogg. 好，走吧，走吧。Alright， 进去是吧？我进去。As you can see, it's actually raining now, which is quite symbolic for me actually. We're heading towards the exit. Just like how I entered BAMEI, I must now leave through a cave on the other side of the village. And I've had an incredible time here, and I feel like I've been accepted as one of the villagers. Over these last few days, I've had a real taste of life here, and I now really understand why Bamei is considered the Chinese utopia. I really like this honest and simple kind of life, but as with all good things, our experience must come to an end, and I now must leave Bamei. I'm Taran, and I'll see you on another episode of Travelogue.